Okay, this is today's tips and notes, which I found was really interesting that I've written down. Um, so I was looking at ways to look at signs that the subject is trusting you, and I found out that that is really good when you're doing problem solving, and they know that you're finding the right solutions for them, as well as the fact that they are listening to you, which is the key issue. Um, let's look at what else. Okay, the other key issues is that the motivating words that we've been looking at, and how to change the mindset of the child and creating positive mentality could be brought into every day-to-day things. For example, discussing um, sort of learning more communication terms. So we could say that the person talking to you, when they're making the statement, they could be passive or aggressive, um, or when they're making the statement, they're also making, um, they've just said it in such a way that they felt it was being sort of negative, or it was, let me have a look. So they are speaking in the way this is authentic to me, or it's or it comes across to me as being sort of sort of negative. So when we're listening to someone, they come across as, when we're speaking to someone, they come across as, when we're seeing someone, that they come across as. That was really interesting because it's been difficult to really understand how to explain communication skills to other people. What I really liked about today's lessons that I was looking at is the way that we describe our feelings. That looking at social situations, maybe when you're sort of feeling trapped in a social situation, like a relationship, or with a partner, instead of trying to explain it using words and empathizing, you can see that it feels like being put in a box and being left in it with no way out, which is a kind of good way to describe that. Or you still feeling in the fog. And I like that imagination and description when it comes to explaining feelings, especially for children, because that allows us to picture the scenario very quickly. So I like that usage. How do we look at the progress of how our feelings are changing? Let's have a look. Obviously, we're taking it more easy, we're doing more self-care, we're also using our curiosity more. We're also being more attentive to the instructions that we're given. We could say, when we're doing activity, we could say ready for action. And also we're more attentive to the descriptions that we use. So we could use the description that a child is, this child who's a toddler. This is possibly one of the best toddlers that's eating, for example, that they're having a positive vibe. and that's followed up that you're eating very well and you're looking very cute doing it. So there's a little bit of a reinforcement and prompt there, also coming out of the situation and describing what he's actually doing and how well he is with his development. And when we're looking at the routines and the progress of this issue, we need to look at the situation from a number of different aspects. So, for example, playing. Is the person making emotional progress or progress in their playing? And is there any weak areas and what's a strong area? So, are they physically good at playing? Are they emotionally weaker at playing? Are they cognitively getting somewhere? They're just emotionally happy. What are the weak areas and the strong areas in their progress? That's excellent. And then looking at getting feedback as well. So asking it, so predicting what the person would say when you're talking about them. So if I was to say, eat now, predictably, the most response that a child would say that you're attacking someone, that you're not being very nice, or adult may say that in the same situation, and you can explain that to give feedback to the person and what the person was doing. Also talking about the what context of what we've been talking about so far in terms of how to explain things to the child. So you could describe things as socially what's going on or go through legally, and what papers have been signed about him, and what dates they were, and what they were for, for this issue. In terms of positive psychology, I like this constant mantra as well, where we're talking about how good school is and we like it, and that we do certain things in the house and we don't do it at home. That was quite interesting as well. Discussing ideas, the idea that you're bringing to the table, whether that needs to be addressed or not, or the comments that you're saying on the table, whether that needs to be addressed or not. How a person describes themselves and making suggestions whether that's good or bad. The other issue is that I like the use of learning styles as well. So if a person is kinesthetic and they're learning how to write, or they're doing something physical, then not only can you ask the child to make a demonstration and to show us what they are doing, just randomly in a quiz so they can practice, but you can also, for example, point out where is the hand. Have you got the hand ready to start handwriting? Where is the start? Where the end? And those kind of physical pointers are quite good at breaking down the learning process. Being able to freely choose, look at their own choices and their own hobbies and developing that as well, but also developing your own. Okay, when you're doing activities, always bringing in social words, such as it's my turn, we'll go together. Getting it done, quickly, what we're going to use. And then talking about feelings in a social way, so sharing is a social issue, but also letting our feelings be shared as well. That's an interesting concept as well, and sharing that with other people. And then being obviously sentimental about things. So for every sort of interaction, or social date or social issue that you have, or so any physical care such as washing the hands, and doing something such as that. That you should get an immense good feeling and a good reward and a good pat in the back that they do. The commentary is really good for the child, and this issue is very interesting because it's motivational. It helps people go over and questioning. So for example, if they're doing a task and we feel as though we need to move on to develop that task, you could be at one part of the book on learning and say, I don't know, where is the worksheets. Once you see the worksheets, you could say, where is the answers, and just keep on guiding them and asking why questions and what questions and how questions, and motivate them to continue with that sort of task. I think that the next information will possibly be looked at with the purewow.com website, which is looking at parenting styles and sort of play styles as well, which is really important. I'm going to go through online all of the different tools and the techniques in each routines. We'll also look at the the parenting styles to be more pictorial, that I can show people. Thank you.